What's going on, boys? Thanks to our patrons and Fiverr customers. Subscribe to our Patreon free for behind the scenes stuff, arm yourselves, life stuff. I've been thinking about that door issue because that image is not just metaphorical or allegorical or something. That's your situation every moment of every day. You are staring at and fussing with and worrying over a door you can't do anything with every day. And I notice I've been weird lately. I'm trying to act and perform as if I am still within my rhythm, and I'm not. Like Patrice O'Neill talking about your swagger or who you are. You lose track of who you are. You forget how to be yourself. Then you're pretending to be yourself. Right now, I am pretending I am on my path, and I'm not. Why am I not? I'm not because I feel like something fundamental is about to change. I don't know if that's material, like my physical life or my living situation, my material situation is about to change fundamentally, or if some internal switch is about to flip. But, or maybe it's something about the world is about to change fundamentally. In any case, it feels like whatever is about to change is one of these big things there's no going back from. This is not a diversion, this is a detour that becomes the entire thing. You have these moments in your life when something changes irreversibly. Now, is something actually going to change? Probably not, but I'm stuck trying to figure out what this feeling is anyway. And this feeling is not anxious necessarily. It's antsy. It's restless. Like you finally finished packing up for a trip or for a move, and now you have to sleep in this place for the last time before you can leave very soon. But you can't leave yet. It kind of feels like the way I would imagine you'd feel if you were about to pull an Irish goodbye, with some stakes writing on it, like you're going into the witness protection program or something. You are pretending to act normal because these fuckers have no idea what's about to happen. The issue, of course, being you don't know what's about to happen. And probably nothing is going to happen, but you're going through the motions like you don't give a shit. So, what is this feeling? Or what is causing this feeling? Well, I've noticed some things, and I feel like I've realized something. Something I've been trying to figure out for, I think, a year now. It might actually be longer. How long have we been obsessed with Apocalypse Now? I'm not watching it once a week anymore, but I'm always thinking about it. And one line I've never been able to figure out, but I've always been thinking about because it feels integral, is Kurtz's line. It's judgment that defeats us. And with that comes the line about, have you ever considered any real freedoms? Freedoms from the opinions of others, freedoms even from the opinions of yourself. I think what Kurtz meant finally hit me. There is no right or good answer to anything. And it's funny because this has been staring us in the face the entire time, not only in Kurtz's saying it, but also in No Solution. There is no right answer. There is no good thing to do or right thing to do. Why is that? Because people will not permit a right answer to exist. On every single thing, people will disagree. Not just in a course of action, but also in facts. And, well, I was going to say it's not even just contrarianism, because someone will give you a reasoned, logical argument, the sky is red, But let's say it is basic contrarianism. If you're operating under the assumption all men are created equal, every human life is valuable, or there is a common ground people can reach, that every life is inherently valuable, then you'll never come to a right answer on even the basic things, not even imagining the more complicated things. There is no right answer to anything if you are trying to believe in humanity because of judgment. It's judgment that defeats us. You'll never find an answer to the human question or a solution to the human problem because humans are creatures of judgment, and as long as there is existence with judgment, then you'll never arrive at this greater answer you are looking for. And then that leads you into the question, is judgment, or are humans the arbiters of right? What is right? Or what is good? If you say yes, then you're fucked, because now humans get to decide whether or not the sky is blue. And if you're on the sky is blue side, is it? Are you sure? Your opponents are making very good arguments against the idea the sky is blue. What is blue? And if you say no, then you're really fucked. Because how are you going to find answers from an inescapable position you know to be flawed at its base? If you permit humanity judgment, then it defeats itself with judgment. If you don't permit humanity judgment, then what are you? It's an admission you can't get anywhere. But if you don't make that admission, if you do permit humanity judgment, then you end up in the same place, in the same situation, with a lot more strife. This is basically nonsense. And I've been trying to wrap my mind around just waiting by the door, sitting on that bench and staring at the door. Because what else can you do? And I mentioned last time my intuition has been radio silent so far. That has changed a little bit. And what now is your intuition sending you? Restlessness. Aimless restlessness. Like you shouldn't get too attached to your life the way it is right now, or your mindset the way it is right now, because a big change is coming. You've been alerted to the existence of a secret. You don't know what it is, but it will be revealed soon, and everything will change when it is revealed. But at the same time, I don't think anything is going to change. So what is this? It feels like you're on the cusp of lucid dreaming. You know the way dream consciousness works. Maybe you've read a little bit about lucid dreaming. You do one of those am I dreaming checks, and you push your fingers straight through your hand and they go straight through. But because of sleep brain, you don't immediately realize you are dreaming. You get maybe 10% of a suspicion you're dreaming. You know, on some level, pushing your fingers through your hand is not supposed to happen. And that's supposed to mean something important. But odds are good because of sleep brain, sleep rationalization. In 2 seconds, you could brush off this groundbreaking truth about the world you're in right now, that you are dreaming. Despite that deadened alarm, you could brush it off and forget about it totally and go straight back into standard dreaming, standard sleep brain. That's kind of how I feel right now. But I'm still in sleep brain, or in waking life consensus brain, I know I'm feeling something. I know this means something important, but I'm not lucid enough for it to click correctly. Hence the weird feeling, the restlessness. Like something is supposed to be happening, like something is about to happen, but it hasn't yet. And it probably won't, but that doesn't change what you're feeling. And I think what triggered this feeling is the realization it's judgment that defeats us. That's the lucid dreaming check. On a basic level, is this possible? Is this rational? Does this make sense? The fact judgment stands between us and a right answer is as nonsensical, is as unrealistic as pushing your fingers through your hand like it's an illusion is. This is wrong. This is incorrect. There is something basically wrong with what you're looking at. But you haven't woken up enough, or become lucid enough, rather. You know exactly what's wrong and exactly why it's wrong. You just know that something is wrong with this. And maybe it's also one of those things like Chim. You can tell a character in the Elder Scrolls they are living in a dream, and they can repeat it back to you. They can even believe it, but they won't achieve Chim until they know it, and it's unclear what the divide is between being aware of something and knowing something. This sensation that's been going on feels like 5% of knowing. You're aware of the whole idea, but you only just barely know the idea. You know it just enough to be conscious of it, but not so much you can do anything about it. Going back to the door example, in desperation or exhaustion or even nonsense ecstasy, because this feeling isn't entirely bad. There's actually a positive, almost giddy feeling to this sometimes. You've stopped bothering with the door because you are beginning to know all you can do is sit here and wait. And now you are getting flutters of something. And that's the confusing thing about this feeling. I mentioned it feels like something is just about to happen. Something fundamental is just about to change. And there's a time element to that. But there is another time element operating on exactly the same level and exactly the same way. Something is about to change, and you'll die before you see it. You know, it's like the 2 weeks thing. It could be 2 weeks from today, or it is 2 weeks from today, and it'll be 2 weeks from today until the day you die. It's an eternal just about to. It's an eternal edging streak. You were edging before there was a before, and you'll stay edging after there's an after. But it's just on the tip of your tongue, a word you know, but for the life of you can't recall. And that makes you wonder, is this not a situation in which you have to accept something before you're allowed to do something else? Or in other words, you accept that all you can do with the door is sit outside it and look at it and wait. Then, once you've totally accepted it, you can go through it. Is it not that, but instead the elevation of sitting, the ramping up of waiting, or the deepening hole of just sitting around? I don't know. Although I feel fairly confident in a day or two, whatever it is I'm feeling right now will be gone, just like in a dream, but it is a weird sensation because I'm feeling everything I always feel, and in fact, it feels like even more needles are poking me, and I'm feeling them even more intensely. So unbearable they're becoming. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because something fundamental is about to change, even though it won't. It's so wrong. You're beginning to know, not just be aware of, not just understand, but know. It's so wrong. It can't be. And that's about it. And that is about it. We're cutting it here. Oh, right. Dream Journal test logs are beginning to come in. So look forward to a video about that sometime soon. And if you want them in advance before the video, subscribe to the Patreon free. You'll get an email notification when it's released. Otherwise, wait on the video. You don't need an account or a member. You don't even, not just you don't need a membership to access the files, you also don't need an account to access the files. So, in that otherwise case, just wait on the video. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't.